So you're building a PC, you're looking for a cheap aesthetic upgrades, and you don't want to break the bank. You don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on thermal take fans like I did. Well, I got a solution for you. So what we got is a $60 budget option for 5 total fans, or basically $12 a fan, from a company called PCCooler. But also, if you guys are subscribers of the channel, and if you aren't already, make sure you get subscribed. However, you might notice that I had one of their products on my channel just not too long ago, doing a budget CPU cooler review. And that cooler being the Gameice D66A. So I wanted to give another quick mention of this cooler. It's a heck of a cooler. It performs quite well. There's a video in the top right hand corner if you want to check it out in action. But on with the star of the show. So I figured, since you probably stumbled on this video because you're looking for a budget RGB fan option and you don't want to spend hundreds like I did with my thermal take stuff behind me.
Fun coupon! See that?
Then obviously we're not going to cover all the super technical nitty-gritties, being the thermal performance and all that stuff. I'll leave it up to the other big tech tubers to cover that. I know someone like Bitwet Kyle did that, so I'll let him have that claim to fame, and we're just going to take a look at the product. Alrighty guys, just some quick tech specs before we jump straight into the unboxing. Don't want to waste a lot of your time, but this is, as we know it, a 5-pack of fans. They do also sell the product in 3 packs and a singular 1 fan, so you can pick up all those however you need them. Links in the description below, by the way. But also we got it operating on a hydraulic bearing. Fan speed is rated between 1000 and 1800 RPM, so there's that PWM control for you. We've got max airflow of 54.51 CFM, lifetime of 30,000 hours, and a max noise of around 31.4 decibels. So basically what I would say is what you come to expect for fans at this price point. Alrighty, so let's tear into this box and see what we got inside. And one other note too, I want to make mention, this is kind of weighty feeling, so it kind of already has me thinking the product is going to be a little bit better quality feeling than some of the things that I've bought in the past, being 5-6 packs of fans. So let's see what we got here. Pull on this tab in the back, open that up. We've got a, looks probably like a component box sitting on top. Yeah, big box of stuff here. Let's see what we got inside. So inside the white box, we have what looks to be a bunch of cables and double-sided Velcro. I like that instead of using double-sided tape. So we got a bunch of fan screws sitting up here on top. So that Velcro, yep, looks like where we would attach the controller. So here we have the controller. And what we got here next is the remote for the RGB with an included separate battery. Nice that they did not install that because corrosion can happen and damage this. So good thinking there. All right, next what we got here is the splitter for the PWM control of the fan. So we got 5 to 1. So basically what that means is we can take all 5 of the fans, plug them into this 5 to 1 splitter, then plug this end into our motherboard, which allows us to have control from basically 1 fan header. So I like that. That makes it simple. Then we got a RGB 12 volt cable here. So this is a 4-pin 12 volt cable that would plug in probably somewhere here on the controller. We're going to have to reference some of the diagrams and the instructions. So before I start plugging things in, make sure you do that too. You don't want to fry anything.
This is fine.
Additionally, here it looks like we have some addressable 5 volt cable where it goes RGB to RGB female to female side, and this is probably another RGB cable of some sort that plugs into the controller. So I'm starting to get lost in cables here, but I'm sure it's not too bad once we look at the instructions. And then lastly, it looks like this is actually power for the box or the controller box itself, which I like to see it being SATA power. So we got here, not Molex, so definitely that one little notch of quality up over some of the competitors. And yeah, it's just strictly a power cable that would power the controller box. Lastly in here, just some warranty information, and then we've got a manual that hopefully has some English to it, because that looks like a lot of Chinese if you ask me. I'm sure it's got some English iterations here somewhere. Looking for it. Yeah, it does. Okay, so it just so happened to have Chinese on one side, but it looks like pretty decent diagram as far as plugging things in. Kind of tells you what you need. I don't think there should be any real major complexities to that, so I'm not too worried about that. So we'll get all this stuff back in the box and we'll take a look at the fans. Okay, so now we should probably just have a bunch of fans in here. So let's start pulling them out here. See if we can just, there we go. We'll just dump them. Haha, that made it easy. Oop. Am I happy or unhappy with the product? So it looks like a survey that you can take. That was just in the bottom, so we'll get the box out of the way. So let's line up our fans here. So yeah, these definitely are, they're pretty darn weighty feeling. So I like that. That's usually typically what I would say is a sign of quality when it comes to fans. I've dealt with a lot of cheap ones before, and you can definitely feel just by touch how cheap some are, but this definitely has a good product feel to it. There's not really any flex to it, which is nice, good to know. And here also has a feature that you would definitely see on more premium fans, installed rubber isolators. Sometimes the cheap ones really cheap out on you and make you install them, but this one's got them pre-installed on both sides and they're actual rubber. They're not just like some type of foam piece. So another one up, I'd say, for this type of fan, but definitely, yeah, has a very good quality feel to it. Again, what we have attached as far as cabling to the fans, we have a RGB cable and the PWM cable. So again, this is gonna be plugging into your splitter and then plugging into the controller. So pretty sweet looking fan, I'd have to say. Has RGB rings around the front side and the rear side. So subtle, but I'd say pretty sleek looking. I like it. Definitely has a little bit of unique look to it as well, as far as like the frame. The frame has this kind of like curvature to it. I mean, I guess you got to stand out somehow, and PCCooler is just identifying and branding themselves. So nothing wrong with that in particular. I don't see there being any reason why that would cause any type of issue with mounting them, but there we have it. That's about it as far as the unboxing is concerned. We've got 5 fans obviously sitting out in front of us. We've got a box of accessories we got to sort through to get the fans set up. So let's do just that. Alrighty guys, so fans are installed. I saved you kind of the boring process of cabling things up. That's not really ever fun to watch, but this is actually my daughter's PC, who does have a little bit of existing RGB going on, being the Lian Li Lancool 1 case, but nothing else really was going on, so we wanted to go back and add in some things here to actually kind of tie in a little bit more cohesive RGB design, and these fans are looking pretty darn good inside here. But let's jump right into it and talk about the RGB. So right now we just got it kind of sitting on the RGB kind of puke mode, as it's so been commonly called. Looks good for the PC. Obviously we can tune that, so that's what we have here in the remote. So this PC doesn't have any RGB headers on it. It is a bit of an older design, so know that if you even have a much even older computer than this, you can definitely still control all the RGB functions with just the remote right here. So basically let's jump into it here. So right now, like I said, we're on the RGB puke mode. We can just start cycling through different modes here. So this is just kind of like an RGB building. You know, there's like an effect that builds on as it goes around the ring, kind of cool. But then we got some kind of just color cycles. There's tons of modes, so I'm not going to go into everything here, but the main thing is you've got a lot of different mode options, as well as then you can change your colors. So we had pink there earlier, and we've got a kind of like a breathing kind of tealish blue. We've got white if you don't want to go into crazy different colors. One good keynote here that Bitwet Kyle does mention too is that the RGB on the fans is very well done in terms of there's no hot spots. It's got a very good look to it, and it doesn't have that cheap kind of look that you might find with some cheaper options. So that pretty much covers the RGB. I mean, like I said, I can go into crazy detail on all these different modes. I mean, there's like just continue to cycle them over and over again, and know that all the function is controlled also with the remote, or if you have a motherboard that has a 5 or 12 volt RGB, you can sync that up with your motherboard software. But I guess last thing to talk about in terms of what the fans can do is the PWM control. So as mentioned previously, you can plug it into your motherboard, have that onboard motherboard PWM control, which you can actually push on the remote and tell basically the controller to default to the motherboard. Or you have 3 different speed modes actually here on the remote: a fast, medium, and slow speed. So right now we're just kind of on the slow speed. This isn't a super high-end powered PC, doesn't need a ton of cooling. Really, we just installed the fans for looks, but you can definitely go up in speed. There's your medium, and there's your high. So it's a bit more audible. You can definitely hear that, but it also makes it easy too. So if you don't want to use the PWM control and you just want to have a quick button to push, well, it's real simple. So really, honestly, that's about it as far as getting full exposure to the product. And for me, I don't think there's really anything negative about it. If you're looking for this type of look in RGB fans, then this product definitely nails it. It's really well implemented. It doesn't have a cheap feel to it, which you might expect with some kind of fans more targeted in this price point. So you definitely get a lot of quality in terms of the fan, in terms of what they have implemented versus some of the other competitors out there. So that will about wrap it up for this one, guys. And thanks again, PC Cooler, for sending on over this product. I think we got a pretty good first look and first take of the product, and I will have a link in the description below so that you guys can go pick it up if you want to go pick up these particular fans. Also, I have a video right down here that you guys can go click on. It actually is another showcase of some products, some CPU coolers, again, one from PC Cooler, so go check that out if you're interested. Other than that though, if you stuck with the video this long, make sure you get subscribed on your way out. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning into this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.